2022 has been a challenging year for CPA firms, but what issues are keeping CPAs and their firms up at night? This is the IssuesWatch podcast. Hi, I'm Don Meyer, Chief Marketing Officer at the New Jersey Society of CPAs, and welcome to the IssuesWatch podcast. The AICPA's Private Companies Practice section, or PCPS, has been asking accounting firms to rank their top issues since 1997. The Top Issues Survey asks firms to identify both the top challenges they currently face and the concerns they believe will most impact their practices over the next 5 years. The survey provides practitioners with a sense of current and potential future trends and helps confirm their own assumptions about critical concerns for firms like their own. The survey also helps firms begin thinking about proactive solutions. With me here today to help you make sense of all of this is Edgar Espinoza, Senior Account Manager at TaxDome, an NJCPA partner that offers simple, powerful solutions to manage your practice. Welcome, Edgar.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're thrilled that you're here. So it's no surprise that the study revealed that finding qualified staff was cited as a top challenge for firms of all sizes. Since it doesn't seem like this challenge is going away anytime soon, how can firms use technology to overcome staffing challenges?
Yeah, so it's certainly not impressive. I think finding and keeping qualified staff has been a major concern for a lot of firms. Some say for more than a decade now. And now that technology has become an indispensable part of modern business, everybody's first thought when it comes to overcoming staffing challenges, at least that I have heard, is setting automation in place. And although generally speaking, it is 100% possible to automate a good chunk of the tax and accounting processes, I think at some point you also have to recognize the contribution of human input. And so, this is something oftentimes is forgotten when we talk about automation, right? Because we see it as a replacement of the human touch point, but it's actually more like a contribution to it. So I think, after you recognize what is a contribution of human input, for example, when you talk about automating mundane or repetitive tasks that do not require a lot of critical and logical thinking, then you can start thinking about the tools you're going to use to kind of use to really contribute and really start streamlining your processes. And so I do agree that process automation can help you with overcoming staffing challenges. But then if you want to talk about how it can actually help, well, really there is a wide range of things that firms can start automating. I think just to list a few examples here. We can automate something that I help firms actually automate is weekly, quarterly, monthly reminders, status updates. You can start from the very, very simple things, and then you can go a little bit more complex, and you can talk about OCR based data entry, for example, which is a little bit more complex to set in place. But you should always start simple, and you can automate things that are repetitive, like automated reminders, document requests, internal task management, very, very important. Client tasks as well, very important. And the list continues to go on. And so it really all comes down to the fact that you have to embrace technology and automation as a means to reduce your workload, of course. And then that will help you not only, keep your staff, right? But also attract new staff that are more keen to using technology and that's something I think firms are starting to see more, where staff is already expecting the firm to have, digital tools in place. So, very, very important to embrace technology and automation. And then, of course, this technology ultimately is going to help you reduce stress, maintain productivity, and ultimately reduce the need for more staff as you continue to scale and grow the business, which I think, everybody wants to focus on growing the business. So very, very important.
Right. Well, I think especially these days in public accounting, reducing stress is definitely a key element for both partners as well as staff. Do you find that, I think conceptually everybody would agree that utilizing technology, whether it's for automation or for other reasons, is important. Do you find that there are kind of demographic barriers that younger folks are coming into public accounting expecting a certain level of technological advancement in the workplace, but perhaps are getting pushback from older professionals who have been in place for 30, 40 years? Maybe they're thinking, well, this is, it's always worked and, we don't need to change. Do you find that there's some demographic barriers?
I mean, that really varies. I don't think there's like a specific demographic barrier. But I think, I mean, this is something you should always expect. Younger folks, younger professionals will expect technology to be in place. And if it's not in place, then they'll probably just not join the team, first of all. But I've seen other more optimistic younger professionals that they join firms that don't have automation or any digital tools in place, and then they're the ones to actually push for this technology. And I have been personally able to work with a good number of young professionals, helping firms that have been in business for 30 years put automation or digital tools in place, and it's been a challenge actually, because some firms don't have the in-house resources, and sometimes it is just a little bit challenging to start from the very beginning, especially when the business has been operating for decades now.
Right. And we about 5 years ago we started hearing about I don't know if you would call it reverse mentoring, because traditionally we think of an older professional mentoring a younger professional, but in the case that you were talking about, younger professionals mentoring more experienced professionals because they might have more experience with various technologies. It could be a smartphone, it could even be social media. So we have seen that, particularly in public accounting, where younger staff people are actually tutoring or mentoring more seasoned, more professionals.
Yeah, definitely. Just another way that I've seen firms actually use technology in order to overcome these staffing challenges is and this is something that I see very, very few people talking about, and is adopting a KPI strategy. Now, this is something I personally actually faced in this company that I work for now, because it is true that you cannot fix what you cannot see, right? And so getting just real-time visibility over those key performance indicators can definitely give the firm and the owners a window to a whole world of opportunities, and not only to see what can be fixed, but this is also going to help you optimize workflows, enhance productivity, and there's a lot more benefits to it. But so if you're able to establish a baseline, set goals for yourself as a owner, for your team, for your different teams, and then if you're able to monitor performance as you continue to make adjustments, of course, implementing digital KPIs, and digital is a keyword here. This strategy is just going to help you analyze what's working and what isn't.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, just getting back to the PCPS study, one of the things it pointed out was among firms with 6 to 10 professionals, so sort of like that, I guess small firm, maybe leaning towards mid-sized, firms with 6 to 10 professionals, the capability to adapt to changing client needs was actually, that took first place, was the number one cited issue. What kind of workflow or automation tools can CPAs take advantage of to free up time and better manage increases and changes in billable work?
Well, I think here we can continue to talk about what automation can actually be helpful for, because you can talk about which tools you're going to use specifically, unless you already know what pieces of your business processes you can actually automate. This is something I continue to see very repetitively, in which firms don't know which parts of their processes are actually there's actually an opportunity for automation. So start by outlining each and every business process, and with the help of if you want the help of a consultant, and this is also very common as well, where firms hire an outside consultant to help them implement automation. or our colleague or your own staff can help you with this. But take some time and highlight those tasks that are mundane and repetitive. And once you have this, once you have these tasks highlighted and your business process is outlined, you can start researching tools online. I think the most basic things you can start doing is use a tool for project management, and this tool for project management is going to help you, like I said, build this framework or start um, creating your business processes in a visual manner, so you can see each and every step of that way. You will then be able to see bottlenecks, and then you can start. If you see a bottleneck where new client onboarding, there's a specific step in new client onboarding that requires, let's say, a lot of human interaction or a lot of effort from the firm. They can start into looking into tools that are going to help you overcome those challenges in that piece of your processes. But again, start by actually outlining your processes, and then start researching tools that are going to help you with that.
Great. Now, emerging technologies scored the highest with firms employing 21 to 50 professionals, so starting to get up into a larger size firm. But in fact, emerging tech made the top 5 for firms of all sizes, and it's actually been there in this study for quite some time. Now, what do you find that firms struggle with more? Is it selecting what technology to buy, or is it the actual implementation of that technology? So do they not know what to get, or do they not know what to do with it once they get it?
I mean, that is a great question, first of all. I think that I think what they struggle with the most is, this is, I think, the actual implementation that they struggle with the most. But I also think that nobody struggles as much as they should when it comes to selecting the technology they implement. And so, vetting technology and evaluating the technology, and seeing what it's for, seeing its full capabilities, features, and just something very basic, just understanding what your firm actually needs. It's I think the most important thing, and not enough professionals spend enough time evaluating what is it that they actually need. And so a lot of us just go online and just ask different colleagues what they are using, right? And then we just go with whatever they're using, or we just take those options because we've heard others are using it. But it's so important to just evaluate what your business needs, and then start looking yourself for tools that are going to cater to those needs. And then, of course, implementation is like I said, what I've seen most firms struggle a lot with. And one of the reasons is, again, they don't have enough in-house resources for implementation of a new software, and then that leads to another thing, another problem, which is when firms hire outside help to implement technology or new apps into their business processes, and then what that comes down to is the firm doesn't have full understanding of what was implemented or how it was implemented.
Right.
And so then there's another need for learning and training the staff with the new technologies that were put in place. And so so doing this yourself is very important. Doing it with your team, and just finding appropriate training plans, or creating a training plan for your team is very important as well.
Great. And I think it's a great point that you made about getting buy-in or input from junior staff, the people that probably will actually utilize the technology or the software that you're buying. But a lot of times these decisions are made at a senior level, a high level, because of the dollars we're talking about. But oftentimes those individuals don't get input from the folks that are actually going to be using the technology or the software to make sure that they're comfortable with it, finding out if they have questions and so forth. So I think that's a great point.
Yeah, that actually has been a very, let's say, it's something that we've been able to see here at our software company, just because we we actually gather data from the staff that actually uses our software, for example. And we get a lot of great feedback from staff, and it's feedback that's going to help us, for example, continue to develop our software product. But then we ask the managing partners, or the business owners, and they don't have as much feedback because, of course, they haven't been using the technology, or yeah, very important to actually ask the team how they're doing. This is something we as a company are able to do. But then firms that are using multiple tools should definitely ask their junior members, or their staff that are using the applications. What's their feedback? What are the suggestions? And then ultimately provide that to the software company to see if there's an opportunity for enhancement.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a great point. We're approaching the end of the year, so I'm going to ask you to get your crystal ball out. As you look to the future, what kind of new tools or information should CPAs and firms be looking at to strengthen their practices and better serve clients?
Well, I think here it's very important to just try to stay up to date when it comes to the news, to what's out there. I know this is something that's very, very hard to do, especially when you're that busy during the just in the heat of the busy season. It's very, very hard to keep up with so many emerging technologies, so much information, and of course continuously increasing client needs. So to try to stay up to date, join different communities, ask for support. I see a lot of groups on social media where there are very interesting discussions about different client situations, about how others are managing their own practice, what tools they are using. You can just what's the power of social media. It's very, very easy to just start a discussion on the tools that you're using. Just I've seen posts where a firm just posts their tech stack, literally just every tool they use, and just ask others what they think. And so just getting input is so easy. And then the harder part would be just utilizing this input and then to actually make changes or adapt based on it. But just try to join communities, try to ask others what they're using. Try to vet tools more often. Evaluate your software at least once a year. This is something that's that we as a software company actually do with our own customers. Try to evaluate it every year. Try to see if there is a need for a change, and just do this iterative process in which you continue to evaluate your own processes and your own tools.
Right. And I think that's a great point. And I'll plug our own communities here at the NJCPA. I mean, that's why you belong to an organization like ours, right? So that because you're part of a community of peers and like-minded professionals. And we have a number of communities through the society that our members can take advantage of to do exactly what you're talking about, to ask questions, ask opinions, get feedback before you make any decisions. So I think that's a great point and a great way to wrap up. Edgar, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, you are very welcome. And again, thank you for having me. Very, very happy to be here.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all for listening and watching. The NJCPA partners with TaxDome to help growing firms and sole practitioners go paperless, automate admin tasks, and get paid faster. For more information, visit taxdome.com. For a complete list of NJCPA member benefit providers, visit njcpa.org/marketplace.